These are the Cleer ARC 3 gaming earbuds, and starting with full disclosure, this is a retail sample that was sent to me by Cleer for the purpose of making videos about it. Now, no money was exchanged and all opinions are my own. Now, I will have affiliate links in the description down below. Now, this is a premium device, so be aware of that when you click on the link, because these are not cheap earbuds, but let me tell you right off the bat, these just might be worth the price, for most people anyway. Now, these are gaming earbuds, and there is already a Cleer ARC 3 earbuds that are not meant for gamers. And the main difference between the two is that this includes a USB-C dongle for ultra low latency. So now that I'm already talking about the features, let's start with that. Again, this being a gaming set of earbuds, the ultra low latency is pretty much the main feature that they offer. And this opens up the compatibility in terms of connectivity options, because these are still Bluetooth earbuds and they support Bluetooth 5.4 as well as the USB-C dongle, which is I would guess a 2.4 gigahertz. I really didn't check into the spec of that particular, but it has to be non-Bluetooth because these pretty much offer almost zero latency. The latency is actually rated at under 30 milliseconds when using the dongle. And when I tested it, there was no perceivable latency. So a little more into that later. Now, these also support a 50-hour battery in total. The earbuds themselves last for about 10 hours. That's the rated amount of time that they have. And in my testing, I have been wearing them for a very, very long time with absolutely no issues in terms of battery. And the case itself supports 40 hours of additional charge, with a little bit of a caveat I will get into in just a minute. Now, if you're not familiar with the original ARC 3, these are set apart because they do have a very original, a very unique charging case. At least I have not seen many other companies do something like this, and you might be able to tell that this has a very nice touch screen, as you can see, but I'll get into more details on the case in just a minute. Now, these are gaming earbuds, right? So let's talk about gaming and performance right off the bat. So I tested the gaming performance of these earbuds using an iPhone 14 Pro Max, and there was no perceivable delay. So let me just show you the difference in latency when using the dongle and when using the Bluetooth connectivity. Now, as you can tell, there was basically no delay when using the dongle, and there was a noticeable delay when using the Bluetooth connectivity, as I could switch between the two of them while recording the video. Now, you probably could tell that the sound was heard instantly the moment that I pressed the trigger on the controller. However, that's when using the dongle, by the way. However, when I switched to Bluetooth connectivity, the sound was actually heard just after I released the trigger on the Bluetooth controller. So that's a very noticeable delay right there. Now, I am well aware that that clip surely raised some questions regarding how I use the dongle with an iPhone 14 Pro Max. After all, the dongle is USB-C and the iPhone is still Lightning, at least the iPhone 14 Pro Max and older. So what I did to get around that was that I tested it with these two dongles right here. Now, these are OTG adapters. This is a USB-C to Lightning adapter, and this is a USB-A to Lightning adapter. Now, when using the USB-C to Lightning adapter, which would have been the ideal way to connect to my iPhone 14 Pro Max, I did get an error saying that it was requesting too much power. Now, this is not limited to the Cleer ARC 3 dongle. This is actually an error that I have gotten with many similar devices like microphones, wireless microphones, and so on and so forth. So it is more likely a fault of the OTG adapter itself, because the same company, I mean, when I bought these adapters, they came together, the USB-A to Lightning as well as the USB-C to Lightning. And with this adapter, I do not have issues. Now, how do I connect the USB-A to Lightning adapter? Well, I have the dongle right here, as you can see, the USB-C dongle for the Cleer, and I connected it to a USB-C to USB-A adapter, so like so. And then this USB-C to USB-A connected to the USB-A to Lightning. So a bit of a Frankenstein setup, and I haven't even gotten to the part where I use the phone on the stand. Now that stand that was on the clip was actually is actually a laptop stand or tablet stand. You know, you can use either or. And this stand includes a USB-C hub, or actually a USB-C dock. So it has a memory card reader and extra USB ports and whatnot. So I actually added a USB hub to add extra USB ports into the dock. And so that's what you can see there. There's a Lightning to USB-A adapter that allows charging the phone at the same time. And so I connected the dock to that adapter, and I connected the dongle, the USB-C dongle included with the ARC3, into the USB-A hub that's connected to the dock, and then the dock to the phone. So I know that I overcomplicated it, but I don't mind tinkering with stuff like that to find solutions to things that I want to test out anyway. So yes, I am not suggesting that you do exactly what I did, but I just wanted to show you what is possible with something as limited or as limited as people think that an iPhone can be when it is Lightning. So again, very limited, and not many people are going to want to try that, but you know, just putting it out there, it is possible. Now back to the Cleer ARC3, the multi-device connectivity that is open with the dongle as well as Bluetooth connection. I do have some opinions about that, because when I used it in my iPhone 14 Pro Max, again by using like this Frankenstein solution, either this or with the dock, switching between the dongle and the Bluetooth connectivity was seamless. I did not have any issues. There is maybe you could probably tell that there is like a little bit of a delay when it is switching the connection, where you don't hear any sound. However, once the sound is active in either Bluetooth or the dongle, then, well, you could hear the performance of that as well. I did try to use the USB-C dongle directly on a Mac Studio while having the earbuds connected to my iPhone via Bluetooth, and I did experience some trouble. Pause the editing right here to clear up a little bit more on the issues that I have been having when using the dongle and the Bluetooth connection at the same time on two separate devices. Like I mentioned just now, if they are on the same device, for example in my iPhone, then the switching between the two is seamless with no issues at all. But if I use it here with my Mac Studio, I do have some trouble. I did notice that Cleer prefer the dongle, they prioritize the dongle. So if there is any sound at all on the computer, then it's going to be really hard for me to switch to the audio on my phone. There's basically no audio at all. And then when I stop the all audio, and the only way that I found to stop the audio from going to the dongle is to switch the audio device that is being used by the computer at that moment. So then I can switch into the Bluetooth connectivity with the Cleers. Now I was having some issues where the Cleers would shut off when switching back to the dongle, or actually I think, I'm not even sure because I couldn't replicate it anymore, but it was either switching from the dongle to Bluetooth or from Bluetooth to the dongle that the Cleers would shut off and then restart themselves. Sometimes I had to manually turn them on again, so I could not replicate that again. I was having that trouble the first time that I tested this method of connectivity, but I don't know, it is what it is. So when using two separate devices, I would suggest that you stick to one connection at a time. Otherwise, these are excellent earbuds. So that was a little bit annoying, and maybe your mileage will vary, I don't know, but it's worth mentioning because it is something to consider. Now, we covered the gaming performance, but what about the sound itself? I mean, we do know that the latency is excellent when you see the dongle, but again, what about the sound? Now, I'm pleased to say that as with the ARC3 original, which I have not tested, but I heard from reviews, my personal experience with this is that the sound is excellent. I mean, these are open earbuds, and traditionally you do not expect open earbuds to have such deep and punchy bass as these do. And I mean, the bass, the mids, and the highs were all excellent. Any music genre that you listen to this or with this earbuds is going to sound phenomenal. I mean, of course, you do have better isolation with in-ear earbuds and whatnot, but these being open sound amazing. They sound, I would say, better than some cheap in-ear earbuds that I have tested before, or more affordable rather, not necessarily cheap. But yeah, this has an amazing sound, and I was very, very impressed because I did not expect them to be this good. I mean, with the price tag that these have, these are not affordable. These are premium earbuds, and you probably would expect very good sound out of them, and they do. But I mean, from the point of view that these are open earbuds, and open earbuds traditionally do not have a sound as good as this does. So the sound is excellent. I was very, very impressed with this. Now, of course, part of the sound experience is the calls. So let me just show you what these sound like. All right, so I'm going to do a couple of tests with the Bluetooth earbuds, well, with the ARC Gaming earbuds rather, and they are connected via Bluetooth as well as the USB-C dongle using a lightning adapter like I explained earlier. And I'm going to do a couple of tests. The first one being Bluetooth connectivity, then using the dongle because the Blackmagic camera allows me to switch between the two. And I'm going to actually enable some ambient noise to simulate both a well-treated room like I am right now, as well as being in a noisy environment to see how they perform, okay? So right now, like I mentioned, I'm going to start recording. Okay, so right now the Blackmagic cam is recording. So I'm switching to the audio of this clip right here. So as you can tell, this is the microphone quality of the Cleer ARC Gaming when connected via Bluetooth. So this is basically what you can expect the other person to listen to when you are in a call. So I'm going to switch to the ambient noise in the cafe, well, a cafe ambient noise, to simulate a noisy environment, and I will let you hear how that sounds. All right, so this is basically what you can expect the other person to listen to when you are in a very noisy environment when having a call picked up via the Bluetooth earbuds or the connectivity of the ARC Gaming earbuds via Bluetooth, rather. So yeah, this is basically what you can expect. Again, like I said, when in a noisy environment, and just to let you know, I'm switching to the studio mic right now so that you can listen to the difference or how noisy actually the environment is right now. Then again, switching to the Bluetooth connectivity using the clip recording the Blackmagic camera. So I'm going to shut up the ambient noise right now, go back to how it sounds in a well-treated environment. So I'm going to now switch to the dongle. So I'm going to stop this clip right here. Okay, so now it's stopped. And I'm going to go into settings and I'm going to select, instead of the Cleer ARC Bluetooth, I'm going to select the dongle. So right now it's with the dongle. And I'm going to again start recording. And here we go. So let me just, there. So it is now recording the sound using still the Cleer ARC Gaming earbuds, but this time using the dongle, which is connected to my iPhone 14 Pro Max with this Frankenstein adapter that I have right here. So again, just to recap, this is the USB-C dongle connected to a USB-C to USB-A adapter and the USB-A to Lightning adapter so that I can use it on my iPhone 14 Pro Max, which is still Lightning, of course. So again, this is a well-treated environment, no noise, and I'm going to activate the ambient noise so that you can see or hear the difference. So this is me again speaking normally when in a noisy environment. Now, I wouldn't expect you to take calls when having the dongle connected. In fact, I really don't think that the calls or the phone app detects the dongle as a viable audio source. So this is basically just for test purposes. So I'm going to again let you listen to the ambient noise with the studio microphone that I have right here so that you can gauge how loud it is. And then back to the clip being recorded with the Blackmagic app on my iPhone. So yeah, again, no more noise, and this is basically what you can expect from the Cleer ARC3 microphone connected via Bluetooth as well as the USB-C dongle. Now, as you can hear, the microphone quality on these earbuds is excellent whether you're using the Bluetooth connectivity or the dongle connectivity. Again, I was very much impressed, and like I mentioned, my personal benchmark for Bluetooth earbuds is whether or not the other person is asking me to repeat, regardless of whether I am in a noisy environment or a sound-treated environment. So with both cases, you could listen very well how well they perform when reducing ambient noise and still keeping a clear voice. I really don't know how they did it, but man, these guys at Cleer sure know what they are doing in terms of sound quality as well as microphone quality. If you're liking this video so far, may I ask that you please hit the like button, and if you would like to see more content like this, please consider subscribing because my subscriber percentage is super low and I am trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, so every little bit helps, so thank you for that. Now, like I mentioned a while back, as with the original ARC3, one of the things that set these premium earbuds apart is the charging case, which has a touchscreen, a multifunctional touchscreen. It is very responsive. You can tap to enable or disable the time. I don't know if you can tell right here. Kind of the exposure is a little bit wide, but when you touch, or when you tap the screen rather, you can activate or deactivate the time. And there are two wallpapers to choose from. I have not seen an option to add any more, so there's that. Even so, when you swipe to the side, you get a ton of options. So some of the things that you can do with this are, for example, enable the Dolby Atmos. You can enable head tracking, more than in a second. You can set the time out of the screen. You can change the EQ. You can show a step counter because yes, these earbuds, believe it or not, do have a step counter. And gimmick or not, I don't know, you decide. But yeah, you can also set the volume of the earbuds. You can set a timer, so the earbuds let you know how much, well, after, you know how a timer works, right? The earbuds alert you when the timer is up. You can use this as a remote charger. So if you're connected to your phone, or the earbuds are connected to your phone, I'm not sure if the case connects to the earbuds and then from the earbuds to the phone or directly to the phone, but the thing is that you can connect, or you can use rather the charging case as a remote charger. Among other things, you can also reset the connectivity. You can set them in pairing mode again in case you want to, pair them with another device, or if for whatever reason they're acting up. You can reset pretty much everything with this case. You can also control the music playback or the media playback because they do have the play, pause, and skip track and whatnot. And if that was not enough, they also support wireless charging. So you just put it on your MagSafe or any wireless charger and they start charging. And pretty quickly, I might add. I mean, I was using a very affordable wireless charger and it charged like 10% in just a couple of minutes. So that I was pretty impressed with that. Now, I do have a couple of caveats regarding the charging case. One of them being that the screen is so sensitive. Of course, when I'm recording, it's not as sensitive. But the point being that I have noticed that the screen does turn on even when I have the case in my pocket. So I really would have liked them to have some sort of maybe a proximity sensors that they would tell when they are inside a pocket so that the screen doesn't turn on. Now, that's not a big issue in terms of it activating any functions or doing anything wacky with the functions that they have, because in order to activate any function, you do have to swipe to unlock the case itself. And I almost forgot to mention that you can also find your earbuds with the case because you can set them to ring a noise that is gradually increasing and until it is loud enough for you to kind of pinpoint where the earbuds might be. Okay, so don't try it when your earbuds are still in your ears because it's not gonna sound pretty good. Okay, so again, back to the caveat with the screen. I was saying that in order to activate it, you don't only have to tap it, but you also have to swipe it to the side to be able to enable all of the options that it has. So not that big of a deal, but my concern with this is that the screen being active inside your pocket, if it does happen many times, like when you're walking or changing positions or whatnot, that it's going to affect the battery life of the charging case itself. So it's worth mentioning. Now, another caveat that I have with the screen is that when I receive a call, the screen shows a big button right in the center that's for ending the call. So my concern has been that if this happens when the case is in my pocket, that I might accidentally end a call. It has not happened, so I want to point out that it is possible, but probably not likely. At least, again, in my experience, it has never happened to me, but I do have a concern that it might be able to happen, so there's that. Now, while on the topic of battery life, this, like I mentioned, they last a very, very long time, and the charging speed, even with the wireless, was pretty fast with the case. And in my testing, I also noticed that after having been using the earbuds for quite a while, they were down to 60%, at least according to the case. The case does tell you the percentage of battery for each earbud individually, as well as for the case. And the case told me that the earbuds were at 60%. And I put them in the charging case as I was recording some B-roll. And then when I checked back, only about 10 minutes had passed, and the earbuds had already gone from 60% to 100%. So that was really, really fast. In other words, you should expect to have no issues in terms of battery life when using these earbuds. Now, another thing that I would like to see improved in terms of the charging case is the charging indicator. At first, I couldn't notice whether or not it was charging, especially, of course, when using the wireless charging, because wireless chargers can be a little bit finicky in terms of how you position the case or the device, any device. And I couldn't tell whether or not it was still charging, but then I noticed that there's a very tiny icon that's the battery indicator for the case, and it switches from green to yellow. But I think the problem is that when the battery is getting low, this icon tends to turn to yellow and then to red, indicating that, the levels, indicating the relative levels of the battery. So I think that when the battery is under 40% or so, the icon turns like orange, and it's pretty much the same color that it turns when it is charging. So it's a little bit hard to tell whether or not it is actually charging. So I would like it to be a little bit more clear whether or not it's still charging, is what I'm trying to say. Maybe a lightning icon or something like that. So the earbuds themselves have a very, very responsive controls, which is something that I really love. They are very dependable. I almost never have any issues in terms of false touches. I can, something that I often do with any of the earbuds that I use my shoulder to activate the controls. So this is something I can still do with this. Of course, most of the time I use my fingers, but I do this with my shoulders in case I have my hands busy. So it's a weird thing, but I like that I can do this with these earbuds as well as I can with any other earbuds that I have had in the past. And yeah, well, what I'm trying to say is that the touch controls are very, very responsive and very reliable. One thing though is that you cannot customize this, and I guess I am spoiled by SoundPits in this term, because SoundPits does allow you to customize them with the app. Speaking of which, these do have an app, the Cleer Plus app, and you can do with the app pretty much everything that you can do with the case itself, except that with the case you cannot customize the EQ. You can select different EQs, but you cannot customize your own personal EQ, and that you can do with the app. So there's that. So let's wrap things up now, because this video is getting long enough. Now, things that I love about this: the low latency is excellent, the sound is phenomenal, they are fast enough when charging, and the responsive controls. Cons: the comfort. I did not get into detail about the comfort, but these did disappoint me in terms of comfort, because they do start to get uncomfortable pretty quickly. And by quickly, I mean like around 30 minutes, sometimes 30 minutes, sometimes a couple of hours. Right now, I have been wearing this for, I think, like an hour and a half. I do not feel discomfort at this moment, but there are times when I quickly feel discomfort, and it is more apparent when I try to use the touch controls. Sometimes I don't feel any discomfort until the moment that I use the touch controls, and then they press into, the inner part of my earlobe, and they feel very uncomfortable. So there's that. Might be my particular case with the shapes of my ears, but it's worth mentioning, of course. So yeah, the comfort on this kind of let me down a little bit, but this still doesn't keep me from using this. Like, these are my go-to earbuds right now, okay? So yeah, there's that. Now again, the screen activation in the pocket is a bit of a concern to me, mostly in terms of battery life, rather than it activating any features that I shouldn't. And I also failed to mention that the head tracking feature that these have, it feels more like a gimmick to me. I mean, it works, it definitely works, but it is not relative to the device that you are using to listen to your media. So it does the head tracking relative to the position of your head, or what position it had when you enabled the function, but not to the device. So you can move the device around and the sound is not going to change, but if you move your head around, then the sound is going to try to stay in one place. So if you look this way, it's going to sound this on this side, and if you look this way, it's going to sound on this side. So there's that. And it also only works on Bluetooth. It does not work with the dongle for some reason. So yeah, my final thoughts about this. These are solid earbuds. They are premium, but I think they are pretty much worth every penny, especially the gaming version. They are not that much more expensive than the ARC 3 non-gaming version. So I would say just go for the gaming version. The dongle is well worth it. I do wish that the case had a slot for the dongle. It does not. You do have to carry the dongle, you know, apart. I wish that was different, but you know, it is what it is. It's still not a deal breaker in my opinion. So solid gaming performance, outstanding sound, and I guess comfort will vary from person to person. So it was a letdown for me, but not a deal breaker. So I hope that this video was helpful. Thank you for watching this far. If you liked it, then please go ahead and leave a like and maybe consider subscribing. And if you want to see my other preferred earbuds, open earbuds, I mean, then you might want to check out the SoundPeats Per Clip Pro by clicking right here. So these are another ones that are open and they have phenomenal sound at a much, much more affordable price. So there's that. So thanks again for watching. Hope to see you in the next one. And until then, may God bless you all.